Goodness gracious.
Oh my gosh, what have you done?
Looks like we're live.
Yeah, my phone just went off.
Did it?
Yeah.
Good.
Says TZ Tech. You sure it's not a giant do you want to unbox it?
Why are you doing this thrusting motion with this box?
Because this is too big for a Bluetooth microphone, according to Jimmy. Give me the knife.
Don't be showing my address to everybody.
I'm not. something somewhere in California.
Yeah. Let's take a look at it. I said I would do the unboxing in a video for them, so I'm not going to unbox it. Okay, it's a box inside a box.
Oh boy. Oh, I see musical notes on it. That's a good sign.
Yep, it's going to be a karaoke mic. Woo! That's exactly what that's going to be.
Oh shoot! Should I start singing into it already?
It's raining men.
Thanks for stealing my thunder.
Why are you're unboxing this? Why are you unboxing this for?
Because I want to sing "It's Raining Men."
Okay, go ahead. I gotta see what color it is.
I hope they send.
Actually, I'm not going to see what color it is. It's going to be a surprise for when I do my unboxing video. I'm not supposed to see what color it is.
Oh, it's horrible, dude. It is horrible.
It's the pink one, isn't it?
I'll just show you. It is terrible. It is seriously the gayest thing ever. And this is coming from Gay Boy.
Me. It is the pink one.
It's like a pinkish orange.
It's the rose gold. Or is it? No, that's a gold one. Isn't it? Nope, it's rose gold.
Just send me whatever color is the best one that you think will show up on camera.
Dude, look at that case.
Yeah, and they even include this one in case it gets a little freaky that night.
It's furry. Okay, we'll unbox this officially later on.
It's raining. Do you want me to take my shirt off while we're at it?
No. Just the thought of that, just no.
Where's my Barnacle stickers?
Is that a big pink Hitachi?
We were seriously concerned there for a second it was something else. Yeah. It might as well be at this rate. Oh, there's your gay karaoke mic.
Hey, don't be talking that way. You know, it's a karaoke microphone. Listen to music. Mic speaker, record songs. Support SD. Oh, it has an SD card?
Oh, snap.
USB interface. Oh, we could actually use it for streaming.
Oh, gosh, yes. Hey everybody, welcome to the gayest stream ever over here in Calvin and Jimmy show. We get the gayest karaoke mic we could ever get sent to us.
You're supposed to be inclusive. What's up about you using the G word all of a sudden? You're supposed to be all inclusive. You're from San Francisco, for goodness sake.
I wasn't born in San Francisco. I was born in Camarillo.
No, but you're pretty much raised in San Francisco.
I was not raised in the Castro.
I didn't
My
say
mom
what
was.
I didn't say what part of Santa. Yeah, Castro, really?
Literally, it was right down the street from where I used to live with Grandma and my mom. And for a little while there, she actually lived in the Castro.
Lived
not
in
kidding.
the Castro.
Yep. Look at my mom.
Where they like to walk around the street with a hat and a smile.
Yep, and that's not a joke.
What's the first time we ever saw somebody doing that? Beth's like, did you see that naked man? I'm like, no. You want me to turn around so you can get another look? Sure.
Ow! Is she saying you're not hot enough?
I guess. Guy had on a straw hat, a backpack, and that was it.
Yep, seen that. I've seen dudes in like full blown leathers. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, I've seen it all. It is not a joke.
He wasn't naked if he had a hat on.
I've also seen dudes walking around with a sock on their you know what as well, thinking that counts, and I'm just like, Okie doke. I think the first time I ever saw some full frontal nudity was actually in the Castro accident because they were protesting the city potentially making that illegal. And I'm walking to the train station. And I'm like, okay, we're gonna cross to the other side of the street and okay. Kid you not, that was traumatizing.
Was it?
Yeah, it wasn't. I mean, it was like if I had known I was going to see that, it would have been one thing. But it's like walking in on somebody in the shower by accident. It's just like I didn't need to see.
But see, now this opens up so many questions. Was he big?
It was a chick.
Oh, well, then what's your problem?
I'm not going to go there.
I thought you said it was traumatizing.
I wasn't prepared to see a fully nude chick. That's all.
Okay, that brings me to even more questions.
Yes.
Was she young? Was she old?
Probably late 20s, early 30s.
Okay, so technically prime of life. Was she on drugs?
She was a bull dyke.
Oh, never mind then.
That ended the conversation real quick. No, it's like whenever there's those crazy homeless people that have to run around with almost nothing on, it's not the young before they got hooked on ice and crack and coke and all that crap. No, it's got to be the ugly ones, and you're just like, no. Why? Why does it always have to be the
My eyes can't unsee what they've seen. Gouge them out now.
Pretty much, that's not a joke. I'm not kidding on that one.
Oh goodness!
I mean, the stuff that I've seen out there, you don't even want to know.
Let's see who all we got up in here tonight. We got BV3D, Brian Vines. How you doing, my friend?
Yep.
We got Calvin Witt in there. What are you doing in the chat? You forgot you're on the show or what?
No, I'm on both, so I can cheer everybody out.
We got Aaron in the house.
Oh, stab!
I did.
Gotta stop watching Jake Paul, dude. He's bad.
I haven't watched him for a while. Is he even still around?
I don't even know. He's probably in jail in Japan somewhere or something like
Probably.
that. Probably deserves it.
3D Medic, how you doing, my friend?
What's up, Vince?
We got 3 people watching. That's about right.
Maybe more, and we just don't know.
It says, "Oh my."
Oh dear, please no.
Oh my.
I'm gonna go out and water a tree real fast in that case.
Oh goodness, here we go.
You want me to keep the door open or close the door while I do it?
I'd rather not hear it. I'd especially like to not see it. Oh goodness. Yes. Alive in the adventure. What did I just walk into? Thank God you didn't rewind about 5 minutes. Oh goodness. Have a good one, Aaron. Thank you for joining. Hopefully the weather's settling down back there a little bit now. Oh goodness. Well, guys, what's going on tonight? What are you guys 3D printing tonight, if anything? I got to figure out something to start 3D printing again. By the way, I have a printer that's being delivered to me soon. It's going to be a A10M from G-Tech that they've donated for a giveaway. So I'll definitely be having my 10,000 subscriber giveaway soon. I don't know how I'm going to figure out the deal for the shipping part, but we'll get that all figured out eventually. Let's see. Printers are all silent. Oh no. All the printers are silent. Steampunk style squid thing. I have not seen that. Oh, thank you very much. Closing on 1,000. Hey, you know what? Hitting 100 is harder than hitting 1,000. And who was it that was saying that? It was Casey Neistat, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That the hardest thing to do was to hit 100, and then after that, the hitting 1,000 wasn't so bad. Hitting 10,000, so on like that. But he said hitting 100 was the hard part.
And it's true though, because you got to build up that
the momentum.
The momentum, but once it's kind of like once it gets going, it just kind of keeps going from
Yeah.
there, which is not a bad thing.
Where are you at now?
I'm still hovering around 2.5, 2.3, 2.5, I think.
That's not bad.
The main problem is I just haven't had time to make content.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to work on that.
And plus, you still use a fisheye lens on your camera.
This in your camera. Well, I'm sorry that the camcorder that I got sent to review turned out to be a flaming piece of garbage.
You got sent a camcorder to review.
Yeah, I'll explain it later off stream. It
Ah.
doesn't. Here's the problem with it though. It doesn't record to the SD card.
Doesn't record the SD card.
It doesn't save to it.
Why not? Did you format the SD card?
I formatted the card in the camera, and that even didn't fix it. So I think it's a problem with the camera.
Could it be the SD card bad?
No, because it's the SD card that I film all of my stuff with. So I know it's a good card.
So it's a bad camera.
Got to be a bad camera.
Did you tell them?
Yeah.
What did they say?
We're trying to figure something out.
Oh, okay.
Because the thing is,
But you do realize that in the software for editing your videos, you can actually turn that into regular video, right? And get rid of the fisheye lens.
yeah. Well, here's the problem with the camcorder, though. I wanted to try and use it because it has a macro lens that actually works really well, and it has a wide angle that works really well. The problem is, if it won't save, the thing is, it reads the SD card as present. It says it's got the capacity, it just can't write to it. And I've only got it to do it once, and that was it.
Yeah, but again, as with your GoPro camera, you can actually adjust that in editing.
Yeah. Well, the main problem is the fixed fields of view is becoming kind of problematic. But don't get me wrong, I still love using the GoPros. They're very much great for time lapses and things like that for drop and go. But I'm kind of feeling like it's time that I start to look into something better for filming with, because I'm really starting to feel the pain of limitations with it. Because I'm probably gonna have to borrow your camcorder when I do the Artillery 3D troubleshooting, because I need to get some good macro shots of an improperly inserted plug. Hi, Daniel. What are you doing here?
Where's Danielle at here?
She's asking about this guy. It's actually a rabbit.
Yeah, it's a rabbit pot. It's a rabbit on pot. I mean, it's a rabbit pot.
You know you can legally grow weed now, so you can grow some weed out of it. It's a rabbit
Dude. Pot. You know what I've been wanting to do? Is I've been wanting to go to what's that stinking place where you go and you eat? I go there and shop, but you go there to eat. What's the name of that place? No.
IKEA.
IKEA. You get one of those iconic IKEA plants and put in it.
That would be hilarious. Where is the closest IKEA to here anyways? Probably a ways away.
Oh, that's right. She changed the name of her channel. I forgot. Live in the Adventure. That's right.
In the Adventure.
Does it live?
Yeah, you said live.
I don't know. It all looks the same to me. I don't care.
And
I was so used to White Tigress 18.
Yes, I know. You loved saying that.
I did.
Danielle always live on those White Tigress 18, but I don't blame her for changing her channel name though, because it is true. It's more of a travel vlog thing, which she does really good videos on that.
Yes, I need a haircut. Calvin needs a shearing.
Where's the shaver?
It's around here somewhere. Oh, there it is.
I got one somewhere.
You definitely need one, man.
I know I do.
It's looking bad.
I know.
You look like a lost white boy that thinks he's not white anymore, but he really is. But yeah.
That's sad.
Almost getting the Jesus thing going on now. You're trying to take on Prusa for being the Lord and Savior?
No, I'm good. I guess everybody's in Prague right now.
Yeah, everybody's getting drunk like really early in the day too. Did you see that picture?
Yeah,
it was like one drink and everybody had a straw.
I cringed. I got drunk staring at that and screwed on.
I was laughing. I'm like, I know all these guys.
Yeah, I'll make.
Joe was over there sucking down more of it than anybody.
I'll put it this way. I'll make my usual. I understand everybody's free to do what they want, but I kind of like. Not a huge fan when people do that because I feel like it doesn't exactly send the best impression of the community, but they're free to do what they want.
Yeah. They're having fun.
I mean, they're free to do what they want. I'm not saying you shouldn't have fun. I'm just saying that, set a good example. I'm leaving it at that.
A good example.
Mm.
And leave it there. Mister, look at the microphone.
Your channel, not mine.
Calling my microphone outlandish names.
Hey, you started it, not me.
I just said if it's that color, I'm going to sing It's Raining Men.
I might take my shirt off while we're at it.
You're the one that said that part.
Just because I knew it would make you cringe.
Oh,
And
goodness.
boy, did Jimmy cringe all right.
Oh, goodness. Brian Vine says he needs a quarterly haircut as well. Yeah, it's getting time. I gotta get past it. I need to go hit my people up in Gilroy. I went to the Salinas one a while back, and they took like 2 or 3 times as long and didn't cut off near as much. Go up there, and those gals like 5 minutes, you're done.
I mean, they literally have it down to a system. It's like you walk in there, you sign in, they sit you down. 5 minutes later, they're done, and you're like, "Dang!" And they do a good job at it too.
Yeah,
they don't.
They're fast.
They don't putz around. They get you in and they get you out, which is the whole point.
I'll go in there and just say, do whatever looks right. And they do.
Yeah.
With you, it's like, oh, you got such long hair. Would you like product in your hair? And then they start talking to you about you in Vietnamese to everybody else there.
They're probably all like, "Oh, we know a single girl." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get out of here." Whereas Tracy would say that they're gonna sell you off to the first girl they can find.
Oh my god!
You guys started that, not me.
That was you were the back there taking pictures and all that, getting everything all going.
Then you took the selfie with the two of us, and she said it looked like you were being ready to be sold off. And then you made the comment about leaving me on a doorstep. Oh, it was bad. Oh, that hurt. You jerks.
You were back there enjoying it.
Didn't say I
like
was.
attention, yes.
Horrible. It was traumatizing. Ugh.
Let's see. So what are you over there working on now? Train?
Yeah, I'll show it on the main screen. This is a train that is eventually going to get printed professionally, but I'm setting it up as a test print to do on the 3D Artillery Sidewinder X1V1 that I have to kind of show that the machine is capable of doing some pretty detailed stuff. It has a fair bit of detail on it. The supports on it, though, I've intentionally designed to be what I call print in place. So for a model like that, I found trying to use supports in Cura, Idea Maker, Prusa Slicer, Craftware, whatever the heck you want to use, they don't work very well on that. So that's the reason why I've designed my own supports in there that hit all the surfaces that I need. It takes a little bit more work, but it's worth it. So that's why I'm doing that. So,
Calvin?
Yes.
You need to clean your computer again.
I know.
That's
I do.
Vile. That's vile.
Where's the canned air?
You know, I used to have a can around here somewhere.
I think I have one somewhere in my car or elsewhere. Yes, I've been.
Yeah, you totally need to give that computer a blowjob.
I'm tempted to bring it into work on Monday and blow it down in the parking lot.
That's usually where it happens.
I've stripped it once to give it a blowjob inside.
Have you?
Yeah. That was actually back when it was giving me issues, and I think it was because the fan wouldn't spin up.
I could imagine.
Yeah, that was
I don't know where
scary.
you set that thing, but it's dusty.
It used to be at Grandma's house, and Grandma's house was very dusty, and then the crappy place that I rented from was very dusty as well. So
it looks like stuff is just sprinkled on it. Looks like you have had like several meals over it.
Well, you talk. I'm gonna try and find the stand there.
Calvin huffed it. Yeah.
Did not. Did not. I don't do that.
Speaking of huffing it.
I found the duster, but it's missing the top.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What about the one on the floor over here? Does that one have a top?
Ah.
Yes, it's got a top. It might even have some air in it.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, it doesn't?
Yeah, a little bit. See how fast we get smell terrible in here.
So how you doing, Curtis? When are you coming back out to California?
Jimmy thought you didn't like him anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's because I didn't have you around. I think he wants to be. I think he wants to visit with you next.
Mm-hmm. You saying I need to pull out the fancy bed sheets for that?
What the? Dude, what's wrong with you tonight? And I'm the one on steroids.
Maybe I'm having fun because I know you're on steroids. My gosh, this can is cold in 3 seconds. Sorry, Curtis.
Yeah, Curtis, I figured you did.
It's all good, dude.
No problems at all.
I know how it is when you're visiting. It's like all of a sudden it's just like
Yeah, you can see the dust floating through the.
it's like I honestly had.
And
fun.
now my table's got more dust on this computer. Are you going to pull a Barnacules here? Orgasm. There we go.
My gosh, this can is seriously gonna like freeze my hands off.
I know that's cold, isn't it?
Ooh, that's cold. Yeah, prednisone is no fun.
Last week of July, sweet. I should be around.
Yeah,
We're thinking about going to Colorado sometime, probably in August, but we'll see.
yeah. I'll let you know when I'm going to be out for helping take care of Grandma.
Yeah. So here's what happened. I took and this time of year, you can go up to Home Depot, and there's these two pickups that are parked out front of Home Depot that you can go up there and buy cherries from. And they're cheaper than anything that you find at the stores. So you get 2 pounds for $5, and that's cheaper than it's usually about $5.99 at the store for
least.
1 pound
Minimum.
So I went and got some week or so back over at the little blue truck that parks out there. And they were kind of sour type cherries, the little ones, they just weren't right. Then we went to the white pickup. Now the white pickup had the larger, sweeter cherries, and they were really good. And so we buy a bag, and me and my wife, we can kill a bag of those in a day. It's easy. Then the other day I go past there and I see the guys there with cherries. So I go and I buy a bag. I take it to work with me. And on the way back to work, I'm eating them, spitting the seeds out and all that. Get to work and I'm eating them there at my desk. Then everybody else kind of dips in. And of course, I just keep eating them. I eat almost a half a bag just in one sitting, just through the day. So bring that one. I tell Beth that the guy was there with the cherries. She says, "Why don't you go buy and get more?" I'm like, "Okay." So I bought 2 more bags. Took and go home with 2.5 bags of cherries. That night I eat a full bowl of cherries. The next day I eat like 1 or 2 bowls of cherries. I'm just eating cherries like crazy. Well, all of a sudden I started getting this itching just on my hand and that part of my arm, and something ain't right. I scratch it, it doesn't go away. It just keeps on doing it. What in the world? Well, so I started thinking, okay, well, there's something wrong. It's stressed out. There's something like that. It's got to be what it is, because I had no rash whatsoever. Well, next day I end up getting a rash, and I mean from my arms down, just everywhere, raised welts. And as soon as I saw that, I'm like, cherries.
Or something on or in the cherries.
Yeah, it could. That's one thing that the doctors talk about. He said it could be from pesticides. It could be the type of fertilizer they used. Who knows?
Honestly, I think your biggest concern if you ate that many cherries would be sitting on the toilet the rest of the night.
No, I actually didn't have any problems that way.
Well, I mean, for most people.
Yeah.
I mean,
So unless I've got a actual food allergy to cherries,
I think it's something on the cherries,
yeah,
honestly.
and that's kind of what he was thinking too. So he gave me a shot, which is what, a cortisone shot, and then I started the pills today. So you take, it's not bad. It's not the dose I've taken in the past.
Oh, that's good.
Usually I take like 5 at a time, 5, and then they usually I do that for 1 2 days, and they go down to 4, and then 3 2 1. This one it's 2 a day for 4 days, and then 1 a day until you run out.
Got it. Oh, it's not bad.
So it's not bad. I shouldn't be too awful like.
Yeah, that was when
I've been roided out before. That shouldn't be too bad.
BB3D left some good ones.
Hmm?
BB3D left some real good comments in there.
I hate cherries to calm down.
Knew it.
Yes, I know. You know, you reach a certain age, you just can't deal with the cherries the way you used to.
This stream's going downhill real fast.
It is, isn't it?
It's all my fault.
It is your fault.
Didn't say I was proud of it though.
Yes, you are. You're totally proud of it.
Whatever. I'm indifferent.
I'm indifferent.
I spent $7 on a crappy car wash, so I'm not exactly in the best of moods.
Yeah, I gotta get my car washed. I'll just wash it myself because none of the automated car washes seem to be able to wash it right. They miss the whole back part of the car because it's got that window that kind of comes up underneath that overhang.
Well, in the case of my car, it's absolutely filthy, and one of the best chickens took a dump on my roof the other day. So I'm like, I really just need to get this thing cleaned. Spent $7 at the Shell down the street from work, and the thing did a real piss poor job. Not happy.
Yeah, Brian, I spent $12 about 2 weeks ago and had the worst car wash I'd ever had. I'd almost be willing to pay the $15 and take it to Acme up here and have them do it. At least they do it by hand, and then you go through it, and then when you get them out the other side, they dry everything off. And if you go for like, I think it's $30, they have you get out of the car and they vacuum and wipe everything down. Do a really good job.
Yeah.
He paid humans to wash the car and they missed half the. That's uncalled for.
That's not right.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I'm not the type of person to constantly complain, but when they advertise that the thing's going to have like a spot-free finish and you look in the back window and the thing is just covered in water spots, it's like, I think your ion exchange column is going out.
Yeah. They don't pay attention to that stuff. I've been through car washes where I spent the money for the tri-foam, the 3 different colors.
Yeah.
And it'll be out of it. It'll be like one color coming down. That's it. And it's like, come on, spend that much money and you short me on that.
That's when you feel like going back and complaining.
And actually have before. And
Yeah.
they usually want to, sometimes if the owner's there, they want to argue about it. It's like, your car wash sucks, dude.
That's when I say, you pay for, we'll go through it again. And if it doesn't do that, it's free.
Yeah.
Or if it does, I'll pay for it. We're done. And just leave it at that. But, you know, yeah. I mean, my car looks a little bit better, so I'm not going to totally complain, but I'm still a little bit irked. I might, usually on the receipt, they have like the customer service thing. So I might just drop a hint saying, you know, your in-store staff is kind of clueless and your car wash sucks. You guys might want to pop in there and pay it a visit. Just, you know, polite little
Well,
hint.
it's more likely it's not going to be a company owned one. It's just going to be the franchise.
It's a Shell/Loop, which is like their fancier store thing.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Hard to get good help in Sunnyvale.
That's because everybody works for Google.
Yeah. I mean, you know it's great when you walk up to the door and they have a sign saying, sale today, 2 slices of pizza for $3. And I'm like, I'm good.
Are you making fun of AM/PM?
No, this is at the Loop gas station.
That's actually not a bad deal.
No,
Because they did have that deal with the AM/PM. That was actually really good pizza.
I mean, I'm not saying it's good pizza or not, but considering that, half the time when I go in there, the salad bar doesn't have anything and half the drinks aren't restocked, I'm not exactly the most trusting of it if it's that. Just saying.
Right now, they're at AM PM. You buy a hot dog. I usually get the spicy hot dogs. Get one of those for $1.99, and then you get the next one for $1. So $3 for 2 hot dogs.
It's not bad.
And then all the drinks are 87 cents no matter what size. So you can get the 72 ounce, where the really big one is.
Yeah.
87 cents.
That's better deal than going to McDonald's and getting the dollar drink.
Yeah, it is.
That is nuts.
The only bad thing is if you use a debit card, they charge you 35 cents.
Oh.
So but still it's cheaper than going to McDonald's to get that much food.
Yeah. And they don't even have hot dogs.
Yeah.
I mean, that does sound pretty good right now.
Anybody want a spool of combination 1.75, 2.8? Here we go.
BB3D, I think I could actually send that through my Ultimaker with some pretty comedic results.
Okay, I do have to say this much. It didn't seem like when they first came out with it that people were having that many problems with it. But now that the company is growing, something's not going right.
Well, that's a good segue into the comment I was going to make about Artillery 3D and the recent press release about halting production because they were getting a lot of quality control issues.
Yeah.
This is something that every company should do. And coming from somebody who works in manufacturing at my day job, we do the same thing. If we have a run of parts that we're doing that we keep having problems with, we halt production on the machine till we figure out why that's happening and then continue. We do the same with our equipment. If we're starting to have a bunch of people saying, hey, we're having a problem with this, we go, hey, maybe it's time to modify the parts. Maybe it's time to make a running revision. And in their case, they're doing something that a lot of companies, both US based and outside, don't seem to do, which is to, one, own up to the fact, which is one, to own up to the fact that they even made a mistake, which says a lot right there. And then the fact, to own up that they had the mistake and then halt production to try and figure out why, and then hopefully not have that issue in the future. So for that, I have a lot of respect for them because there's a lot of other companies that just were like, oh, we have issues. We'll just keep chugging them out. And for better or for worse, people just kept buying it and kind of rolling with it like, well, whatever. Yeah. So good on them. But this is something that becomes a problem is when you start getting in a bunch of orders, it's very easy for you to get so enamored by trying to keep up with the amount of orders by cutting quality control. And that's the death nail of anything. You see it a lot in Kickstarters as well. When they start out tiny and they think they got it good, and then all of a sudden they get a bazillion orders. So they have to run to the cheapest bidder, but they probably are cheap because they're slacking in QC. They're not doing QC on their end. A bunch of people get shipped rubbish units. A bunch of people get really irritated and want a refund or need a replacement because it's potentially unsafe and it needs, there are certain standards that need to be met and it doesn't benefit anybody. I always say I'd much rather wait a little bit longer to get something that's got all the issues ironed out or is very close to being darn near perfect than get sent something that's held together with duct tape, chewing gum, and baling wire and expect me to fix it.
Brian wants to know, what was I whispering? I was whispering a name of a company who believed that there was no problem with any of their planes.
Their name starts with a B and ends with a G. And they make this aircraft called the Max that had some issues.
And they kept saying, there's nothing wrong with it. We don't know what all these people are having all these problems with it about. I don't know what they're talking about. Then they come find out they do the entire time. Like, man.
Well, I think the problem is you have them and you pretty much have their only competition is Airbus for aircraft of that size. So what are you going to do?
But did you hear they also had a really big order come through? Like 200 and some odd planes from some company? Yeah. Because right now it's
Airbus?
Boeing. because they said that the way they look at it, it will end up being the safest plane in the air because of all the scrutiny.
Because they're gonna have to nitpick the whole thing.
And plus, I imagine they got a pretty good discount too.
Well, the reality with a lot of these things is you place the order for the aircraft a couple of years before you're even going to get them, because
Yeah.
it takes so long to build them and to source all the components. So they're pretty much there. It's almost like betting on the price of future items when they're, saying in 3 years from now, I'm going to buy soybeans at $30 a bushel. It's a gamble, but it could either pay off very well or could pay off very poorly. But it's a little bit like that. They take that gamble of nobody's going to come out with a better aircraft between now and then. We're going to put in our order now for the aircraft and wait X number of years for it to be filled. So it's very much a big gamble on everybody's part.
But in the case of a 3D printer, let's face it, 3D printers are not overly complicated. And the companies who manufacture them know what should go into it.
Yeah.
And I would think that if they had people that were going through and just checking 1 unit out of 10, they would find the problems before it got to market.
And
then they could go find out the person who was doing whatever was wrong and go and slap them
and deal with them accordingly.
Walk up behind them and just take something and just go bang.
Mister, if you don't leave me a 5-star review, I'll drop this big old anvil I found at Harbor Freight on your printer. No wonder Chris was extra nice to me and gave me the remote. I was teasing with him when I was checking out though. I'm like, Jimmy said that if I don't leave a 5-star review with you guys, he's gonna drop an anvil on my 3D printer, and he just about started busting up laughing. Yeah. I told him that he was just dying because Jimmy, he's gonna totally him. He's gonna totally do that, even if he says it with a grin on his face. I'm like, yeah, no.
See if I can find it. Is it that far back?
We were talking for a bit. No, that's way too far back. No,
Is
go back
it?
to where the remote was.
No, now we're talking about your printer.
No, that's way too far.
Is it too far?
Yeah. Because it was when I sent you the photo of the remote, because I'm like, oh, Chris gave me the remote.
Oh, yeah.
No, a little farther forwards. No, I'll find it. You don't know. Yeah. Oh,
there it is. There it is.
Yeah, there. It's going to be mirrored.
No, I'll be fine on that part.
Fine.
It totally worked by see what happens to drop it 12 feet onto a Sidewinder. Want to do that to a printer sometime? We'll buy an anvil and just go.
No, I'm good.
Not to the Sidewinder. I mean to another printer.
Oh, which printer are you thinking of?
I don't know.
The one that threw sparks at you on stream?
You know what? I still want to take that printer and I want to fix it.
You should fix it. It sat there. That thing is sad. The thing's about as sad as my giant printer that sat forever that I haven't done anything
Quite
with.
honestly, it's got the same hot end to it as the GTEX.
I can just flash it with some custom Marlin and we're done.
I wanted to replace that board though. I don't want to use that same board. I don't
Well,
trust it.
Well, if we ever fix your GT2560 board here, if Genius Me ever buys the voltage
Oh, I got that other board up there.
Yeah, I know. We need to work on that on a stream sometime.
Take a look at that board up there. Isn't it up on top? I'm pretty sure that one's got the normal connectors. And if it's got normal connectors,
yeah, it's normally connectorized.
Yeah, I think that would be the best board to use for it.
Yeah, I already got
we could flash it with Marlin 2 point whatever it is, and
I can flash it. I can modify the GTEC firmware to fit the larger build volume. That's pretty easy to adjust.
Yeah.
I can set the E-steps correctly as well. It's a radical idea.
Yeah, I could with that one.
Yeah, probably 80.3 because it looks like a direct drive.
Yeah, it is direct drive. Or no, it's a Bowden.
No, I meant, well, that doesn't matter. I mean, if it's geared or not on the extruder, but we can figure it out later.
No, those are not geared.
Then it's 80.3 is the usual stuff.
Yeah. We'll have to play with that sometime.
That'd be fun. But I need to work on getting my Giganto printer.
I've got this theory about 3D printers.
Yes. Toasters?
3D printer.
Oh boy, here we go. The toaster chat.
Okay. So, where are you
I'm
going?
going to get the jelly beans.
You mean?
Real good ones or not?
No, I've been trying to eat your buttered popcorn ones to get rid of those.
Oh, I hate those.
Those are horrible.
They are disgusting.
After about the 10th one, it just becomes too much.
Carry on with your story.
I was telling Calvin the other day.
Many times.
Okay, several times. I've told Calvin.
A bazillion times.
People, when they talk about, I want to get a 3D printer, they want a toaster. They want something that you buy
Or a computer.
that toasts bread. And it does a good job. And you can buy a $7 toaster at Walmart. You can buy it from Kmart. You can buy it from Walgreens, grocery outlet. You can buy a $7 toaster about anywhere.
Wish.com.
Yes, well, I'm sure you can probably get it for $2.50 from Wish.com. But anyway, you can buy a $7 toaster anywhere. But do you want a $7 toaster? You know, if you toast bread once in a great while, sure, a $7 toaster will work fine. You don't want to put any plastic up against it or it's going to be part of the side of it because it's not insulated in any way. But it will toast bread. Probably not the greatest. It's probably going to have like darker up here, lighter down there. You know, one side's going to be darker than the other. But it's going to toast bread. Then,
If you're lucky, it doesn't burn your house down in the process.
yeah, so we're talking about A-nuts, right? That's your $7 toaster. Okay. But not everybody wants a $7 toaster. So, you know, you jump up to $15. $15, you know, suddenly your toast toasts a little bit more even. You know, it doesn't burn you as much when you touch the side of it. You know, it's at least it leaves your fingerprints in place. It doesn't become part of the wall of the toaster. So therefore, you know, now you're moving up to, you know, some of your G-Tech, some of your other machines. Then you buy your, what is it, $25 toaster?
$25, $30.
Okay, you get about 20. Now you're getting up to close to what? The Black & Decker range brand, you know?
Something that's actually going to last
Proctor
a while.
Silex, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay, so you get up into that part. Suddenly you can have plastic laying up against the side of it and it doesn't melt no more. You know, the toast is actually looking really good. You know, it's you've graduated up to something that's pretty good. You might even be able to toast a bagel in it.
And
We
not
get
having
that
it
price point.
stuck.
And that's, you know, that's getting up to your Artillery 3Ds, you know, getting to some of your Flash Forge and all those.
It's the $500 range.
Then you've got your KitchenAid, the Cuisinart.
The wedding registry toasters.
Yeah, the ones that everybody wants because they want to toast bread and they want to be dazzled. You know, this bread is going to toast perfectly every single time. You know, it's not going to burn anything. You can set it and forget it and all that kind of stuff. Now
It
you're
probably
talking
sings
about
it.
your Ultimakers.
It probably sings a tune when your toast is done as well. It texts your phone or something stupid like that.
Yeah, I was telling Calvin all this the other day. At least then he was laughing, but he's not laughing no more. He's heard it all too much.
But it's a true story, though. The problem is, I'm equating it to computers or smart. I'll equate it to cell phones. How about that? Everybody wants the really, really nice cell phone. This is a Galaxy Note 8 Active, but it's a really nice phone. But the problem is, a lot of people can only afford the really basic track phone, the Metro PCS phone. We're not talking the branded ones. We're talking like the really basic phones. They want the features of the really nice smartphone for the price point of the darn near disposable phone. And that's the biggest issue I have with people is they get really annoyed when they expect really, 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 really crazy features from a really, really cheap product, and you're not going to get the two.
And
It's
see-
not together.
And that's what I was talking about. It's like, okay, so you go out and you buy a $7 toaster. Now suddenly you don't want a $7 toaster. You want that $7 toaster to perform like a $15 toaster. So what have you got to do to the $7 toaster to make it into a $15 toaster? You got to spend a whole bunch of money whole bunch of time,
More money than it's worth.
and in the end, you'll never have that $15 toaster. And for goodness sakes, you are never going to have the KitchenAid or the Cuisinart.
And in reality, you were better off saving your money to buy the $15 toaster in the first place.
Right.
That's what I always tell people. I'm like, steer clear of
Well, the $7 toasters have their place.
Yeah.
When you're first getting started, a $7 toaster is not bad because you learn the basics with the $7 toaster.
well, the only
You learn whether you want your toast to be dark or if you want to be light. You learn how, if you even like toast. Maybe you won't even like toast. Maybe you're just a white bread person that just wants to eat it straight out of the wrapper, you know? Maybe you don't want toast.
Maybe you want a toaster oven so you
Maybe
can make bruschetta and garlic bread.
Maybe you're happier with a peanut butter and jelly sandwich rather than having jelly on your toast. Maybe you don't want melted butter on your toast, you know? But it gives you a chance to check it out.
So Mr. Bugabata, that is an awesome name by the name,
Best name ever.
said, what features does the Stratasys Analogs toaster have? Is it a bread maker, slicer, and toaster in one? Yeah, pretty much. And it comes with the free butler that every week cleans the stupid thing out for you practically.
And it comes with a massage and napkin.
My dad, BB3D, my dad is that person doesn't want melted butter on their toast because it's going to clog his arteries and kill him. That's
My
what he said.
brother is the only person I personally know, but he's not the only person I've heard of. He's the only person I know that will walk in, take 2 pieces of bread, stick it in a toaster, crank it all the way to the right, and poke it and wait until, until the smoke starts bellowing out the top and it sets off the fire alarm.
Oh,
Then he will go over and pop it up because it has not popped up yet because it's been all the way over. And he will proceed to eat that toast like that. He wants it as black as he can get it. And I'm like, I don't.
your brother has issues. All right. We'll just put it that way. Tommy has issues. We're done.
I get a kick out of it though, but yeah, he'll walk right in. Boom, boom,
What does Maxie have?
smoke.
What does Maxie have to say to all of this?
I don't know if he eats toast anymore.
So Danielle's saying perhaps you want a toasted PB&J. That sounds really good right now because I haven't had dinner yet.
You know what I used to eat?
What?
I used to take Miracle Whip. I'd take 2 pieces of bread, toast it lightly brown. Take that
You
Miracle
didn't
Whip.
blacken it?
No, I don't do that.
Oh,
Just
okay.
put a nice thick layer of that Miracle Whip on there. Stuff's good right there, man. That's some good stuff right there. Yeah.
So Aunt Nancy says, what's up, Aunt Nancy?
Hey, Nancy.
But can I make cinnamon rolls in that toaster? Well, if you're spending that much money, you might as well be able
Well,
to.
now you're talking a toaster oven. Now you're the toaster oven. You can do all kinds of things. You can toast your bread. You can
heat up soup.
heat up soup. Why would you heat up soup? And that's what you have a grill for. Why would you heat up soup in a toaster oven?
These are stories that I've heard from people stuck in dorm rooms with no kitchens. All right, and they probably had to sneak the toaster oven in there to make
Put your bowl of soup on your 3D printer. Set it on 110.
Danielle's going. Somebody likes their toast charcoal style.
Yeah, briquette.
Wait, I think I might have actually tried heating up water on my Ultimaker's heated bed, and it didn't work very well.
Really?
Yeah, it didn't get very hot. It doesn't.
Oh, it's not going to boil or nothing.
Well, the problem is it's a 24-volt bed, so even at 110,
Yeah.
it took forever to
It
even
wouldn't
get the water
transfer enough.
lukewarm.
Right.
The artillery.
I
might
have
be
seen
better.
people heat up pizza on a print bed before.
That would make more sense,
Yeah.
especially like 110-volt bed's gonna get hot like that.
Yeah, go to grill me some soup. I mean, on a burner or something like that. But yeah, I mean, you have a toaster oven. That opens up a whole new world because
Yeah.
now with a toaster oven,
You can do darn well
you
anything.
could cook pizza. You know, you can cook meat. You can do all kinds of stuff with that.
Yeah, I mean it's
Now, that would be closer to your Stratus and those kind of things,
your high end stuff.
Yeah, you pretty much just going to do what it needs to do. It's going to cook. These guys think I'll make some toast. That Miracle Whip got you going, didn't it? I knew it. I knew it.
So wait, Miracle Whip is the
Salad dressing.
okay.
So it's not mayonnaise, it's salad dressing.
Got it.
It's good. It's good. But some people hate it. Some people hate it with a passion. But I was raised on Miracle Whip. You give me an option between Miracle Whip and mayonnaise, I'm gonna go for Miracle Whip.
I mean, I guess it's
There's some sandwiches I want mayonnaise on, but for the most part, Miracle Whip, because it's got that little extra tang to it.
I grew up without mayo, so I just never acquired that taste.
Tommy Burns, see, Aunt Nancy will tell you. She will tell you. He will walk in, turn that all the way to the right, put the bread in there, poke it, and watch for the smoke. And when the fire alarm goes off, it's time to pull it out.
Well, they're lucky.
And if it pops up before that, he will poke it back down.
Good thing the smoke detector's not linked to the fire
And
department.
he doesn't scrape it either. He loves it like that.
Tommy has issues.
So do you whip or do you I totally whip.
Oh my gosh, this is going downhill. This is why we're not streaming on my channel. I already killed it hours ago.
What do you mean hours ago? We've only been streaming for 40 minutes, 45, about closer to 50 minutes. Yeah.
I'm just teasing. You know I wouldn't.
You know you want to huff that dust.
Do not.
You want to pull that barnacles, get that little... No, it's not doing it no more.
Can't see one piece.
Yeah, it is. It's really empty.
Told you it was empty.
So
Oh gosh, Aunt Nancy's now going high air fryer oven.
Oh yeah, here we go. That's how Jerry does that right now, right?
Yeah, 1,1-difluoro ethane's really, really good stuff for you.
Of course it is.
I'm gonna look that up.
I'm whipping good. Hey Brian, take care. Nice seeing you in here. I appreciate it. You're all blown out, Jimmy. Yeah.
Oh gosh. Oh snap! It's flammable.
Yes.
Oh snap! Where's
That's the reason why you're not supposed to be blowing out a computer when it's turned on, Calvin.
Didn't catch fire yet.
Do not shake. Do not inhale. You notice it's got a bittner. One of those
Bitterants.
Yeah.
Yeah, to deter huffing.
Yeah.
You're not you. The funny thing is, on MythBusters Junior, they actually tested the myth that if you sprayed this into a running paper shredder to clear a clog, it would cause an explosion. I think they were able to get it once, but there were a lot of people who actually commented that yes, it's a very rare freak occurrence, but it has happened and it has sent them to the hospital. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That is kind of scary because I personally am not a huge fan of can duster just because it's ridiculously expensive. I mean, it has its place. I think my dad has a couple of free cans that he got from the waste thing.
I use it before I start filming with a 3D printer that I haven't used for a while. I'll give it a quick little squirt, and I'll usually use a microfiber cloth to get the extra dust and stuff off.
Yeah, I mean it has its place, especially if you're say doing a lot of computer repair or portable stuff. But it adds up fast, and it's probably not the greatest for the environment either.
The thing is, people who actually work on electronics, they don't use that. They actually have this little micro vacuum / blower that, those things are cool.
I need one for my car.
Yeah, I know a guy that his plugged in, but he also had another one that was a battery powered one.
Oh, nice.
And he can go in there and blow stuff out of the computers and not run out of air because,
No, it makes sense though. That's cool.
I think the steroids are starting to do something in my sinuses. All of a sudden, I got stuff going on my throat.
Time to pop some Benadryl.
Yeah. Well, I took some Benadryl earlier.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Like I got another packet of. I'll give you a blister pack of them
All right.
because I got some more today.
No worries.
Could tell I was going to start having a few issues here and there, so I bought one. And I only took 2 of them today, or no, I took 3 of them today.
If I take one, I'm pretty woozy, and if I take 2, good luck.
The
I'm
other
out.
night I had to take 2, as it knocked me out for a few hours, and then when I woke back up, I took 2 more, and it knocked that rash out pretty fast.
Well, that's good. Yeah, I try and avoid using stuff like that because after taking it for about 2 or 3 days, I really notice it starts to make me not think straight.
Well, it also backfire on you eventually, and then you're not able to sleep.
Yeah.
Like I'll probably get by with it for about another night, and then I'll have to get off of it as far as sleeping with it, because otherwise I'll be wired.
Yeah.
Like tonight, I'll probably take 2 of them before I go to bed.
Well, it's not like you have to get up early for work tomorrow, so
No.
that helps.
Even if somebody calls in tomorrow, I'm not going in.
I don't blame you. They can suffer.
Yeah.
They
Well, I suffered enough whenever I didn't have enough people up there. I was the
Yeah.
one out there doing it, so even if one person calls in, I still have 3 people up there.
Oh, that's good.
So
Speaking of which, one of these days, if you can get who around to doing it, I want to try and do the vacuum test on the AC in my
AC?
car. Yeah, because obviously you weren't there, and you're good at cracking the whip with people. I didn't even think to ask Chris if they could do a vacuum test on the thing, and I didn't even know if what's his face was in there or not. So
yeah, that's true.
I was just like, you know what, I'm off on Wednesdays. It's no giant rush right
Well,
now.
he's not there on Wednesdays. That's his one day off.
Oh.
So
We'll figure something out.
Yeah.
I mean, work is pretty flexible with it. I can always adjust it a day or so.
How's the newest job treating you? Well, I've been there now for a year, and there are days that I really, really love it. And then there's still days where I think, what in the world have I done to myself? It's kind of like walking up to a wall socket and sticking a fork into it.
It's the case of, did I stick it in far enough to jolt me, or is it far enough to tingle?
There's days that I know for a fact I could not have continued on with the sandblasting business because of all the regulations and everything that was coming up and that has hit and everything else. I didn't have the money to get the new equipment to continue on. I didn't have the manpower to go out and get the larger jobs that would pay for that equipment, even if I could afford it, to where I couldn't continue that. Plus, I'm just getting too old for it.
Out of
Let's just face it.
curiosity, what are the new regulations? Does it have to do with the engines and the compressors? And
when it comes to the diesel engines, air compressors, well, I think it's as of the end of this year, the air compressor, you will no longer be able to use anything that's a tier 1, tier 2 engine. My newest compressor was a tier 1 engine.
Got it.
So those will be obsolete. You won't be able to use them. So you'll have to have either a tier 3 or a tier 4, preferably a tier 4 engine.
And those ain't cheap.
Well, to retrofit the air compressor costs $20,000 for a new engine. To buy a new air compressor is $25,000. For the truck, to buy a truck that, well, if you got something that was a 2010 or newer, you're all right.
Yeah.
And for a truck, for right now, the way things are going, they're usually between $35,000 and $40,000 because you can't find a cheap working diesel pickup or large truck anymore. And then on top of that, the state of California just completely rapes you and bends you over backward to rape you because
And then some more.
they say we want the trucks are breaking up the roads. So it's like, no, the trucks aren't breaking up the roads. You're not repairing anything. That's the reason why their roads are broke, but they're blaming it on the trucks.
The road right out there.
Right. They go and they are just raising the tags on everything. They're raising the price of fuel like crazy.
Yeah.
In fact, did you hear on July 1st, our gas is going up by 5 cents and it's a tax that's hitting?
Yeah.
So They said it's pretty much where the price of the level of gas is going to be going down. The tax will kick in, and you won't notice a difference.
Well, I mean, I'm reading about tier 4 rules for engines and stuff, and it's crazy. I mean, they've got like now there's diesel particulate filters, like those ones that can burn out stuff.
Well, every vehicle, every diesel vehicle that's on the road today that is new comes with those standard. But that's not where it ends. It ends with also all those having computerized, where the computer is controlling the emissions on it. The engines are just more efficient. But what grinds me is they're more efficient, but yet they use more fuel, which makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
On the diesel engines for the air compressor, like the air compressor I have there, is an 80 horsepower diesel engine.
That thing is powerful.
Right. Now they've went down to 60 horsepower diesel engines with a turbocharger. Where that one was using 2.5 gallon per hour of diesel, they now use 5 gallons per hour for diesel. I don't see how this is more efficient. How is using more fuel more efficient and safer in the air and everything if you're using twice as much of it?
I think their thing is, this is based off what I know, they're trying to go after the particulate, the soot. But that's
but if you're burning more fuel, you would think there would be more particulate having to be captured than there would be if you use half as much.
Well, we live in a state that has 33 separate air quality districts, and each one of them can set their own rules separately from the state itself, which has, there's what the EPA sets, there's what California sets, and there's what everybody else in the state sets. And I'm not even joking. If you live in San Mateo County, you only do an idling test with your car during smog, because so many people out there have fancy cars. Obviously, they don't want to put a Ferrari on the rolling road for the smog test, so they just do that. If you live elsewhere, they will do all kinds of stuff to make up for it.
And you're not allowed to have your vehicle smogged in a different part of the state from where you live. You have to have it smogged in your area.
Actually, I've been able to take my car while it's been registered in San Francisco to a smog place in Southern California, and they do the test per that county's regulations,
because they have the
rolling road,
which is a dynameter.
But they
see, here in Salinas we don't have dynameters. They don't have that. You drive your vehicle up to the stinking Shell station. They walk up, if it's a 2002 or newer vehicle, they plug in OBD2, and that tells them whether or not it passes. They don't even stick anything in the tailpipe anymore.
Which is a joke, because obviously the whole emissions scandal with 50,000 things has proven that's a joke. And I was talking to the people over at the smog thing in Southern California, and they totally agreed. They go, yeah, it's the stupidest thing ever, because they go, it's so easy for people to manipulate the computer to spit out the proper code, but it doesn't really mean it's doing anything. I mean, you can so easily fake the results, and then everybody who's still doing the shove the sensor up their tailpipe is getting screwed over, because they're actually doing the actual test. They say they should still keep doing the tailpipe test, because if the two are not lining up, that means either there's fraud on the consumer's end, which is very rare, and they could look at the history of reprogramming the computer and see that. But that's how they figured out the whole Volvo, I believe it was, or Volkswagen. That whole fraud was because people were taking their cars in to get them smogged, and in some places they still did the tailpipe test.
And it was the diesels.
Yeah, and the tailpipe tests were failing,
because even they know you can't take and run twice as much fuel through it and be more efficient. That's what the turbo diesels from Volkswagen were notorious for. You can get 45 to 50 miles a gallon out of them safely because they were that efficient.
Yeah.
But that's not what the state of California wants. They want them to use 35 miles to the gallon. And I don't know. It just bugs me to death.
Well, the other thing that's interesting is with the commuter rail out here, both if out in this area, it's Amtrak. If it's down in Southern California, it's Metrolink. And I think also Amtrak's Capital Corridor, which runs between San Jose and Sacramento. they got in some newer, I think EMD electromotive diesel units. Back in the day, EMD used to make amazing locomotives, really, really nice. And I forget if it was EMD or another company, but the problem is the newer locomotives that they got are very efficient. They're gen sets. So they have, instead of just being one giant engine running the alternators, it's little sets. So as the load increases and decreases, they turn them on and off as needed, which is actually a really smart idea because you're not running it. Because once you get the train up to speed, half the time you're coasting. So you don't need a whole lot of power. But the problem is they kept having breakdown after breakdown after breakdown. So it got to the point where literally, because they were having so many issues, the railroads they were leasing the tracks from said, you can't run just that new engine. You have to do a double head. So you have the old locomotive as backup and you have the new locomotive. So in case the new locomotive breaks down, you got the old one to give you power to keep going. And I'm just like, well, whoop-de-flippin' do, California. You just shot yourself in the foot. Now there is another, I believe they're the Siemens locomotives. Those are actually really good.
You're making this one up.
No,
A Siemens locomotive.
Siemens.
Siemens.
Yeah.
A Siemens locomotive. Is that anything like the ships in the sea have semen in them?
Yeah. See, there's the new Siemens locomotive right there. Isn't that pretty?
I thought they made hard drives.
Dude, they make everything. They make light rail vehicles. So there's the locomotive in question, people. I'll pop it in the chat if you're really curious about what it looks like. But no, those are really nice. Although
Why do I feel like if I got on the thing, I needed to be in one of those Tyvek suits?
probably.
Oh goodness. What are you doing now?
I'm looking up the crappy locomotives that break down all the time and they're stinking. This is the locomotive that breaks down all the time. That thing is ugly. Ugly as crap.
I've never seen one like that.
Those are the very new ones. They are ugly and they break down a lot from what I remember a friend telling me.
Wow.
Yeah. Way to go, Metrolink. You can tell I'm full.
Special thanks to Caltrans.
People who don't know how to fix our roads.
Don't know how to fix a road, but we'll tell you how to run your train.
Okay, I have to say, I've actually rode Metrolink before. It's actually a nice service, but it just sucks that they got crappy equipment in because a lot of people ride it. I mean, case in point, when my dad and I did the fourth U-Haul truck, the truck from hell. No, wait, no. Was that the fourth one? Yeah, that was the fourth one. That was the one where you chased us down the freeway because we were concerned the engine would blow out. Yeah, the truck from hell. What my dad and I did is we had to drop the parts off and drop the stuff off somewhere in Hollywood. So what we did is we just drove it to the rental place, jumped out, went to Children's Hospital to see some kid who was in there that my parents knew, but he actually got released like 20 minutes before, which was cool. Then we went to the subway, went down to Union Station, grabbed food, and then just took Metrolink all the way back to Moore Park, which is like 15 minutes from my parents' house, which is convenient for that.
Yeah.
The only problem was some fuel tanker like 10 miles up the road had overturned, so they near the railroad tracks, so they had to shut that down. They had the road shut down. So that kind of threw a wrench in that plan, but
yeah,
we got back one way or another.
Hey, Aaron, how you doing? Yeah, the last train I was on was over at Roaring Camp.
It doesn't like my link.
It doesn't like your link because it's on Metrolink. Let
me see if I can just send an image. There we go. That better work.
What's a train? LOL.
It's not working. Even though I'm a mod, it's still not jerks. Whatever. Just look up Metrolink. If you're really curious, just look up Metrolink EMD F125.
They're not curious. They care less about Metrolink.
I don't give a crap. If it doesn't like this link, I'm going to go nuts.
It's Wikipedia.
There, it worked.
It's fake news. It'll go through.
So Aaron's saying the Coast Starlight is awesome. I I've had mixed results with that. The view is very nice between Ventura and Santa Barbara on the way to San Luis Obispo. The only problem is once you get past the correctional facility out there and you go through the tunnels, it gets really boring. It's a bunch of farmland, and it gets delayed a lot. I mean, a lot.
Hey, there was a point where they got to drive past or go on down the track, and they'd see me out there priming and painting trailers.
I think when I took the train, I actually saw the white barn by where we shot the episode with Grandma's door grates.
I don't know if you remember this one part when you come in towards Salinas from up north, but there's big old long Butler buildings, and then there's a field off the other side there, and that's where I used to sandblast and paint trailers.
Oh, nice.
Was over there, and those trains would always come past at the same time every day.
I mean, when they're going, the thing is they stop.
Oregon and Washington it would be.
Dude, that sounds so pretty. The part between Ventura and kind of San Luis Obispo area is really beautiful because you're literally going right along the coast.
Yeah.
It is a better view than on 101. So a lot of people will say to catch the train just up to like Santa Barbara or San Luis Obispo or something like that, just for the view, just as a day trip, just for the view. And it is definitely worth it. The only problem is the Coast Starlight is notorious for getting delayed because it starts.
So when they run over the homeless people over here in Salinas?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. I've been delayed on the train because, one time my sister and I rode it back down from Sacramento because we didn't feel like being stuck in our parents' car with a bunch of stuff they bought at a thrift store.
Yeah.
My dad drives like slow. So we were like, no, we don't want to do that. So we ended up buying tickets to go from there to Simi Valley, which is about 30 minutes from my parents' house, thinking, okay, we'll probably both meet each other around the same time. In the worst case scenario, we know like 50 million people at church. We could always call and they could always pick us up. In the worst case scenario. No. Our train was going through the Oakland area, and then some fool decided to throw a mattress on the tracks in front of the train, and we couldn't stop in time. So that literally like mangled up some of the air hoses underneath the train. So we had to get special permission to crawl the train into the Oakland yard, which that whole thing added about 2 hours to our transit time, which then means all of our other original meets with other trains and this and that and the other just went out the window. I think the train was supposed to go all the way on to San Diego, but it was going to get into LA Union, or actually, it was going to stop at LA Union Station, but there were people who had connecting trains to catch. The train was going to get in so late, they couldn't hold those trains. So Amtrak uses a charter bus service. They literally were making announcements as they were going on saying, you know, if you need to go to here, we have a bus specifically. They had buses specifically for different locations for people. So once they got on that bus, it just went straight to their final destination.
Wow.
And the conductor, I've got to hand to the conductors. They were doing a really good job of trying to see how many people needed food, you know, had plans to get dinner down there, going around. And I think they actually called Amtrak control. And I think Amtrak probably went to like the subway or something and got sandwiches, because by the time the train got in, there was going to be nothing open. So they were trying to do what they could to make sure people could get something to eat, had food, because the food provisions on the train are pretty sparse. You have a little snack bar area and you got the dining car, but those sell out of stuff pretty fast.
Yeah. And
the snack bar area closes at like 7. So from that,
really?
Yes, 7 or 8. Because you got to remember, it's pretty expensive to pay somebody to sit down there to have like 10 people come in an hour and buy like $10 in stuff. But
they got to pay them anyway because they're going to be on the train.
Well, they have their on time and they have their off time. It's union stuff.
Yeah.
But the point is, for all that went wrong, they tried to do the best that they could to try and accommodate people and make it enjoyable. And I think the guy in the snack bar says, yeah, because we're running so late, I'm going to keep things open a little bit later if you need stuff. I'm like, wow, you guys are awesome. But no, I mean, the train ride though is pretty fun. It's slow. That's the killer.
Cake caught fire and they were making announcements. Apologies for the inconvenience as they shadow the black smoke. Oh my god!
That is such a British thing to do. Did they offer you tea and cookies while you waited from the little trolley
Tea and
inside?
crumpets.
Oh my gosh, that is great. It's gotta be a little bit spooky though if the engine catches on fire.
Yeah, it would be.
Oh, man,
Oh man, let's go ahead and get going.
sounds good.
I need to go take some more Benadryl or something. I could feel it right here. It's starting to itch. Ah,
Those are like the worst spots to have it happen.
yeah, it is. It was even worse the other night.
Oh, bet. I mean, you were in agony.
Yeah, I
dude.
mean, yeah, it was bad the other night.
when we came back from Denny's, you were just
I
dying.
was dying. I won't even lie, man. I was dying.
I mean, you barely ate anything. Your buddy over there was like, "What? You know, hungry?" I could just tell you were just not doing good.
No. By the time I got home, I was itching so bad it was uncontrollable. I finally took a shower, took that Benadryl, and yeah, it was bad.
I was practically Jimmy walking away from the car. I'm not even making that up. It was
bad.
gnarly. Jimmy's a tough guy here.
It was bad.
Take my word for it.
Well, let's get going.
That sounds good.
Guys, thank you so much for joining. Have a great one. Take care. Hopefully see you next week. I don't know. We'll see.
We never know.
Never know.
Later.
That's the problem with trying to stream with this guy. Is trying to get him pinned down. Guys, take care. We'll catch you next time.
Later.